Hey guys, Matt here. Sunday night, the broken Supercoach. Just thought I'd check in. Noticed that the Supercoach is reset for the night. It's probably reset about 10-15 minutes ago now. I'm late to the party. I was just on the couch and I checked my phone. I thought, I better jump on here and see how we went. 2150 was the score this week. Not too bad. I'm okay with that, and we'll go into why when you see how my team panned out. I've dropped 47 places. Again, it's a marathon, not a race. Before we crack into it, thanks everyone for watching. The amount of viewers and the interaction on the channel has been so great. Really appreciate it. Really love interacting with you guys in the comments. Love chatting Supercoach. So for you guys in the comments there, and for you guys giving me likes, thanks a lot. If you help out the channel, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Really appreciate it. So thanks for that. But without further ado, we'll crack straight in, and we'll hit the team. So here it is. We'll go through the line a little bit. For those who didn't see the video, I had a 5-minute on Friday, late Friday news it was, when we got the Highmore selection confirmation and when we saw Mansell was picked. I pulled the trigger. Did Lions, did Butts out. Swung Laird up and brought in Poulter, who's sitting here now. So Scotty went down. There was a bit of a shuffle to get Lions in. And I'm happy with that. Really happy with it. I'm not actually sure how Butts ended up going. Like I said, I've only just sort of sat down. What did he throw? Did I leave much on? 58. As I said, he's a hometown hero. Only scores at Adelaide Oval. And there you go. I was right about that. So pretty happy about that call, honestly. Lions is unbelievable. It was him or Guthrie, and I'll go into it in a bit, but I think Lions is the superior pick to Guthrie. Shout out to Robbie Hart, a good mate of mine. Had a win on the weekend himself, and he too brought in Lions. So great minds think alike, Rob. 138. I should have captained him, but I was busy. I was busy on Saturday, and I didn't have time to run Grundy into Lions. I think they had a bit of a crossover. I also was, as I said, I was out. Sadly didn't have the time to be able to check Grundy and make the call on whether I was going to captain Lions or not over Grundy. So, that's cost me 40 odd points. As I said, 2150, and if I make the right captain call there, that's another 50 points. That gets me to 2200, and then this Rowan Marshall disaster is what I'll call it. Honestly, 43. He's left me 60 points on field there. That's very frustrating. I will address that this week. How's the rest of the squad looking? Pretty happy with how this defense is tracking at the moment. I think Jath has to go eventually, but I'll hold him for quite a while. He drops 100 every now and then. 88 average is not horrendous, and I've made about 100k out of him. He's a bit of a Walker situation at the moment, but is playing, and you can see when Hawthorn play. And I mean, with all honesty, I don't really watch many Hawthorn games. I don't think I'd watch Hawthorn if they played in my backyard. Honestly, they are terrible, but from what I've seen of him, they do allow Jath to run. It's a hard role to play halfback, and he does play that running halfback. So the potential's there. Not for a final 6 Supercoach. At worst, he's D6. I think with some of the trades I'll have left over, I'll look to move him quite late in the scene. Our two boys here, Mansell and Highmore. Mansell has done himself no favours, and Highmore, I've been pumping this bloke up for weeks. You guys know I have been non-stop about Highmore. Why aren't they picking him? Why aren't St Kilda picking Highmore? What am I doing? Why is Ratton not picking Highmore? He comes in, and 47, honestly, that's generous. That is so generous. Someone at Champion Data felt bad for him and tacked on a few extra. He was bad. He did a little bit at the start and just did nothing else. First year player, so you can't get angry at him, but he's done himself no favours to retain his position, and I think it's Caulfield in the VFL. arguably is the better player. So I think he goes out straight away. But thanks for the free 50k, I guess. No big deal. And hopefully Murphy is back this week, and hopefully hopefully the concussion wasn't too bad for him. He did play on and he did seem okay at the game, unlike, not a Ridley type concussion. So hopefully he comes back, because he was, between the three, he was probably the best field choice. What did he do? Yeah, he was dropping 50s, and keep in mind that 50 was when he was off for about half the game, or a quarter and a half perhaps. These mids, I'm loving these mids. Bont, Lyons, McRae. If you don't have those three, you need to get them immediately. These guys are just pumping out gigantic scores. Oliver's in that same company. His average is only down because of that game where he got tagged for the entire half for 5 points. And Walsh is this guy's 3 years into the league. He's amazing. And Steele is look. I was gonna joke and say he's the scaling king, but I think what's happened is someone at Champion Data on the Friday night, perhaps they stopped scoring, perhaps they lost connection, and he stopped getting points about at halftime. He no longer received any Supercoach points. If you were watching on Fan Footy, he continued to get the fantasy points, but his Supercoach score was not getting updated. So very clearly, someone at Champion Data, they lost where they were with him. They couldn't work out what they had given him, what they hadn't given him, so they just stopped scoring him, and went back in. And whether they continued to do it and the guy just lost connection, I don't know how that works. But either way, it wasn't scaling. It caught up for 2 quarters of score. So that's why he got, it was something like 60 extra points at the end of the game. But it was because, for that reason, it wasn't a scaling. But still, it's hilarious to see him at the end of the game was on 60 or something. And then suddenly gets an extra 60 points. And then there's Powell and Jordan. These two are fine. Powell, disappointing in a win too, which is bad. Tasmania's a tough place to play. 45 points. He's not going to break even. The aim of the game has to be now to conserve trades until the buys. So, you just got to, whatever Tom Powell is on when you trade him out, so be it. But it's not going to be this week. I saw some people did it this week. And if you needed to do that to get to a good player like a Lyons or, like a Guthrie, fine. I will put this guy on field. And maybe it's a case of I can start looping in between McNeil rather, and seeing what happens. Jordan, this guy's a stud. This guy's unreal. If you're short on trades, this is a viable M8 option. But he'll go to 400 easily. His last 2 have been 80. Yeah, he hasn't scored under 80 in 5 weeks. He's a very good player, and he's probably in line. He's probably going to go close to winning the Rising Star. I think he's eligible. He should be. Bolton back soon, please, and then McNeil. And we've spoken about Brockman. One of the guys in the comments chatted about Brockman. Expected him to come back, and so did I. He had a ripper in the VFL. To not see him picked, you'd think surely now they just lost to North. I mean, unless they're trying to tank for bottom spot, you play Brockman. What is he, a second-year player, young lad? Get him in. There's no point. You're not winning games. But like I said about Hawthorn, I don't know their structure. I don't really watch them. If they were on for free in my backyard, I wouldn't even walk outside. They are truly awful. The Rucks are your Rucks, is what it is. Unfortunately, Captain gone, and thankfully he came through with 117. I actually think that is a low score for the position that Gorm was in, and that's why I think he's not a viable captain option anymore. For whatever reason, he's scaled back a little bit. With no Luke Jackson and Carlton just offering no ruck at all, he only scored 117. A Gorn of the past would have scored 200 in that game. So I'm going to now try to avoid captaining Gorn, and I'm going to try to do Lyons and Grundy. They're the two I'm going to try to do. And I might even start thinking about Bont, who's in just ripping form. So if I'm looking at the games this week, we're starting to see we got the Dogs. So I'd rather not do it that way. If I can do Bond into Lions, I would. But realistically, I'm probably going to do Lions into Grundy. Looks really nice. Then the forward line is what it is. I will address Marshall in a minute. But that's where my other 50 was. So that's why I'm saying I am a captain and a fit Rowan Marshall away from 2250 this week. So I'm not fussed. You can't win them all. Zeeble down. Funnily enough, it looks like Hall is actually taking some of Zeeble's points. They are seagulling the backlines together. So I think whether I do it this week, long term, I think having Zeeble and Hall and treat them like one super player who that take up 2 spots. So between them, they're going to get 210. They're going to get maybe 220 between them. But Zeeble might go 90 one week and Hall might go 120. And then the other week, Zeeble might go 130 and Hall might go 80. So treat them like a package deal. And that's how I'm going to treat them. Whether I bring in Hall this week or not, we'll see. It is going to be someone for Marshall. Impey's Impey. He's always going to be part of my forward line plan. I can't. You're not trading out that. And these guys are fine to cover through the buys. Poulter scaled nicely. Scotty looked good. Tough game, Port, for a younger player. Away at Adelaide Oval in a tough win. A good win by the Dogs. He's not going anywhere. I'll keep him on field until we can start working out who are these forwards that we're supposed to go to. Because outside of Hall and Zorko, who else are we looking at here? Like Marshall was. That's why I thought Marshall was such a great pick, because every week he's looked like putting on a good score, but his fitness has let him down. But I mean, even if you look at this, if you ignore the 40 and the 50 from when he got injured that time, who's putting out these sort of numbers in the forward line outside of Zeeble? No one. And Zorko now, 130, 86, 107, and that's in 3 quarters, and that's in 3 quarters, and even this was in a half. So frustrating, but he's not it, Ryan Marshall. Sorry to tell you. And then we've got McCreary just ticking along. He's made 88, 46. He probably breaks even soon. Whatever. He'll be a buy trade. And I don't think Waterman's coming back. Sorry to tell you, boys. 50k made on him, 46k made on him. If he can't get in a team with Stringer injured, then this lad's gone. I don't know what happened. He backed him in, Rutten, the week of the Brisbane game. Torrential rain, horrible conditions for a big man, and rightly played badly, because what he's supposed to do, it was bucketing down. Gets dropped, hasn't been seen since. So sadly, Waterman is just another loophole, is another missing guy with Brockman, and probably Highmore again soon. So that's the team, and that's how we looked. Let's. What would I do as far as a trade this week? There's no rookies. I'm not going to go into rookies. The only rookie you want to keep your eye on this week is if they're somehow early, if Lockie Jones is tracking early, but I don't think he's back this week. But they might even play him through the sample. So keep an eye out for when he is named eventually, and I'll throw one of these 3 into him, probably Mansell. But I think that's a story for next week rather than this week. I don't think there is no good rookies this week. If you're desperate, say you've had an injury somewhere, I don't know who you'd have. I can't think of any high key injuries, but say you are desperate to bring a rookie in, I think Riley Collier-Dawkins might be the one. If you didn't get Poulter, then he's probably the one. You go a week late on them, but there's no one else. It's not a rookie week. Hindsight, maybe should have gone Riley Collier-Dawkins as well, but yeah, Lions, no. Maybe other people's hindsight, but not me. I think Butts to Lions was the correct call. So let's have a look. Quick trade out. I think there's only a couple of options in the forward line that are realistic. I think it's Zorko or it's Aaron Hall. They are only 2 choices. Hind is certainly an interesting thought. Who is playing some pretty decent footy at the moment. He's a little unknown, and it's a little bit concerning that he's not a known scorer. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. But those numbers are hard to deny. Worst score of 76 and 77. Yeah, he probably is an option. Toby Green, I think, is just... He's not putting out the numbers you'd expect from Toby Green. You pay the right price for him at the moment, 460. Hawkins, Darling, guys like that, they're all traps. McKay is injured now, apparently. These guys, I can't subscribe. I know I had Walker in my team for so long, but I just can't subscribe to Hawkins. And jeez, that's some impressive recent scores though. And Hawkins was very good last year. Darling, we've seen this before. Look, I'll have a quick speak about Darling because these are very good numbers. 45 in the Saints game, but outside of that, these are really good numbers. But Darling once scored 2 points in a Supercoach game, and it was quite recently. Let's have a look if we go to... How do you check them? Yeah, seasons there. Was it here? I'll find it because I wanna prove it happened. Yeah, Darling once scored a 9 in a full game of AFL football. Now look, you can take Darling if you want, but if I see that you have a 9 in your resume, I'm not going anywhere near you. So I just thought that's a fun little fact there. Who will it be? I don't know. I'd need to look at buys. I'd need to look at cash, what I'm going to do with cash over the next few weeks. If none of that counted, I would be going Zorko right now. I just have a feeling if I do go Zorko, then I'm very vulnerable in the round 13 buy. I'd need to justify tanking a score in round 13 to picking Zorko. Like would I be able to chase him? Because he's probably going to go up an extreme amount in the next few weeks. And by the time his buy comes around, he's going to be very expensive. There's 3 weeks. It's Richmond Cheetah versus Melbourne, though, so some horrendous opposition. I wish I'd known that before I'd done Lions. And if it's not Zorko, then the only other option is Hall, and you're getting Hall at a discount. Almost a bit like Dogecoin. You're always getting it at a discount. So Hall, the package deal. I think Hall is who I'm going to go. I prefer his buy. And you're getting him very discounted. I don't think he drops... He does not go 454 ever again this season. 100, 113, 112 since he came back. His other fit game was 133 against the Crows. And 81 was his first game back. We went over him in Ear to the Ground, and I went over him the week before. I think I finally do pull the trigger on Hall. It's a much more favourable buy for me. We'll hit that just so we can see it. Because you'd like to just see... What am I looking at in round 12? Yeah, look. That's nice. And Powell's gone. Powell goes in round 12. So there's a playing player right here. Somewhere. You probably do take the gap though, or else you're trading in someone who has a buy later. So the idea would be Powell for maybe Guthrie there. And then these two. Whereas if I do round 13, so just... Oh, it's not terrible, is it? You lose that and it's Zorko there. But then it's Powell. Yeah. McNeil. Oh, look, it mightn't be too bad. So it's a case of, am I going to sit on 100k for 4 weeks? It's handy to have that 100 in your pocket, though. Look, it's something I'll think about. Feel free to chime in the comments. Throw something in there. What do you think about Aaron Hall versus Dane Zorko? That's the big... I shouldn't have reversed that, but whatever. I like to end the video all locked in. Let me know. I'm really interested in knowing. I promise you Rowan Marshall is... I'm done with him. So that's the one trade I'll make. I'm not doing any rookies outside of a Shock Lockie Jones pick. Look, a little bit longer. I was going to go into some Guthrie hot takes, but I might save that for Ear to the Ground because they're pretty hot takes. So be sure to have a look at the video on probably Wednesday or Thursday when I drop that video. Get your teeth into that one. But yeah, thanks. Leave a like, leave a subscribe. As I said, I really appreciate the views, and I'm really loving the chat that goes on in the comments below. So there's actually some really intelligent guys down below too. So if I try to get to every comment, but feel free to throw your comment in as well. Not sure of your rankings or guys like that, but there's some really good info coming through the comments too. So thanks a lot, building a great community here. So let us know how you went. Hopefully you had a good week. I'm probably a bit meh would be my call this week. And I'll chat to you guys in a couple of days.